Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying with Jim Misiura. Today we're going to tie a fly. This is a little bit harder to tie. This is going to be a Turks Tarantula. The hook I have in the vise, I'm using a Daiichi size 10. This is a standard dry fly hook. It's number 1182. I'm going to use Hemingway's Twisted Thread 6/0. This is stronger thread because we're going to spin the head. We're going to start, and you don't have to put a base all the way down on the whole thing. We're going to start at the back, and we're going to start with the tail. And the book I'm using says to use Lady Amherst tippets, pheasant tippets, but I don't have Lady Amherst, but I'm going to use a golden pheasant tippets, and the difference is Lady Amherst are white where this is orange. I'm going to take some, I'm just going to take some off to the side of this. Don't need the whole thing. When you pull them, hold them tight so that they don't separate, so you could kind of keep those the colors together. We're not going to use a lot of that, so we're not going to use that second black because this is a small hook here. But we're going to tie this in and just kind of hold everything together until you get it tied in, and it'll stay. See, it separated a little bit, not a real big deal. We're going to wrap that about 3/4 of the way up, and we'll remove. Now we're going to bring our thread back to the tail, and we're going to turn this upside down, and we're going to dub our noodle, and we're going to use the Hemingway deer hair dubbing. And I'm using this because I like the texture it gives to the body, and we're also not going to be putting a hackle through it like you would with a stimulator. So this deer hair, the long deer hair, actual hairs, you can see it's all mixed in with the underfur. It's going to help add to the flotation. We're not going to make a really small or a really skinny noodle. This could be fatter because of the fact that we're not going to put a hackle through it like you would with a stimulator. Then you want to make a little fatter of a body, and using that deer hair, you know, like I said, it's going to help with the flotation. We're going to go ahead and wrap this. And even if those hairs are sticking out like that, I don't know what happened. There was a green one in there. But we're going to finish that. Maybe put a little bit more on there. Maybe another couple of wraps worth. Go ahead. With those long hairs sticking out, it kind of gives it a little bit more of a buggy look. And we're about 2.5 to 3 eye lengths from the eye of the hook, probably 2.5. Now for the wing, we're going to use white calf tail, and you don't need a lot of this because calf tail is slippery, and if you have a large amount on there, it's not going to secure as easily, and then it will pull out. So with calf hair, one thing is you always get a lot to pull out at the end, and then you can take this and take those real long ones out of there and kind of even it out. You don't necessarily have to put it in a hair stacker. We want that wing to be the majority of it. Got a couple long ones there, but just into the tail. We're going to go ahead and secure this, and securing it with this tight, or this strong thread, I could really pull down on it. And we'll trim off that excess. Oop, got a couple more there I didn't see. And now, once you get that tied down, you can go ahead and put a little bit of head cement on there, or even a small drop of super glue. But try to get it to soak into the hairs. You want it to soak into the hairs so it keeps them from pulling out. Now for the second wing, you use deer hair or elk hair. I have elk hair here. Try to get some short stuff that's pretty hollow, because you kind of want this to spin. I'm going to take all of the fuzz out of it and stack it. I'm going to go ahead and take that out of the hair stacker, and we're going to tie this one about half the distance of that white wing. One, two, and we kind of want this to splay a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and I'm holding the back side still. We could get that and stand that up. Just kind of like we would with our caddis. I'm going to trim this now. You could even take your half hitch tool and pack that hair. Pack that in there nice. I'm going to give it an actual half hitch right there. Once, twice. Pack that in there. Give it a half hitch. There's a long one. Give it a half hitch or two. Now, because this Turks Tarantula, I'm going to keep that bottom trimmed really close so that it rides flush on the surface. I'm going to take a little bit more of my dubbing, just a small amount. And I'm going to wrap that tightly against there. Adds way too much, so I'll just pull that off. Just so we don't see thread underneath there, and it'll look like we missed something. But now we got the dubbing in there. Now I'm going to take a pair of the white, this is actually spinnerbait skirt, but white crazy legs rubber, whatever you use for your legs, your rubber. I'm going to take this and I'm going to wrap it over. I'm going to wrap it around the thread. Then I can easily put that where I want it. I'm going to get that on that side. Give that a couple of wraps there, and then take the other one and put that on this side. Give it about 2 wraps. Then I'm going to take this and we're going to bring our thread in front of the hair again. And now, if you notice, I had a rubber band on the back there because these legs are going to get in the way. We're just going to put them underneath this rubber band and hold them back. Now we'll take another bunch of the deer hair or elk hair, and I'm actually going to trim off the tips. I'm going to take the another bunch of elk hair, and we're going to spin that. And if you have to, you could go ahead and help it around. But if you have a bit of a small space there, you can bring that to the bottom. There we go. I'm going to bring my thread to the front. And kind of wiggle it through there. There we go. Now I'm going to take my half hitch tool again, and I'm going to pack it with the half hitch. And get that once, twice. And again, I'm going to pack it with the half hitch. There we go. We got a nice open eye. We're going to take our thread out of the way. Now you can take your bodkin needle and kind of stand everything up. Pull those legs out of my way there again. And this just helps you to trim it. First, I'm going to trim that bottom nice and close. And then we can take the rest. I'm going to try to get this on one clip, but it's probably going to need extra clips afterwards. And we'll kind of make an arrowhead type head on this. We could get those legs out of there. And then, of course, you might have a few little ones that you have to clean up. But try to maintain the kind of arrowhead type shape. Don't go crazy, because you'll end up with cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting. Here we have our bottom. We got partially brown and partially. And you could, with the legs, if you pull them, you can actually move them if you make them skinnier. Get them right on the side, right on the side. Now I can go ahead and trim them to the length I want. I'm actually going to take them all at once. Just bring them loosely up to the front and go ahead and trim them off. Now I'm going to go ahead and put some head cement on there, and I'm not going to be too chintzy on the head cement. I'm going to put it on that hair, and it'll soak right in. You know, of course, put it on where your thread is, but put it on that hair and let it soak right in. I'm going to put some on the top also, and that's going to soak right in and down in there. I definitely need to clean the eye out. Take my feather and push that through. Got a clean eye. And here we have Turks Tarantula. Hope you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Please visit my sponsors. Leave comments, questions, suggestions. If you'd like to purchase any flies from me, go to etsy.com/shop/flymanjim. If you don't see it there, just send me a message on Etsy and we'll figure out what you're looking for. And of course, please visit my sponsors and let them know that I sent you. And thank you very much for watching my videos.